Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. It is Hump Day. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Hello, Rose. Welcome. Hey, Frankie. Hey, girl. Welcome. And to anyone else streaming over on any of these other platforms, welcome. Hey, Angela. Welcome. Harvin. Welcome in. Jaywu, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Power Girl. Whenever you show up, that is fine. Whenever you show up, that is fine. So today, my topic, I couldn't fit all the characters on the uh, screen. So, what the total quote is: "There's so much bad in the best of us, and good in the worst of us. It ill behooves us to talk about the rest of us." And I'm going to put this in the chat because you guys are probably going, "What?" So let me put this here, and there we go. So, and it is actually a quote by James Truslow Adams. And basically, what it means is all of us have good in us, all of us have bad in us that we shouldn't talk about each other. So that's basically what that means. And I'm someone who I like reading poetry. I like looking, reading quotes. I like reading about history. But I really like reading poetry. And, when I come across a particular line or a verse, um, somehow it always seems to relate back to what's going on in society. And when you read poetry, a lot of it is basically people are writing about, how they feel. It may be about a romance, um, their life, their job, how they see the world, whatever. But this particular quote, I think it is true because I do believe that everyone has the ability to, what is the word I want to use? Everybody has that button that can be pushed if you're pushed too far. I do believe everybody has that button. Everyone has the potential to, you know, like some people say, you're going to push me today, or, you know, they're really, you know, these kids today, they're really doing this, or, you know, my boss is doing this, or my husband, my wife, you know, whatever. But I do believe that we all have the ability to go further than that. And I guess that's for me, I think that could be the worst of us. That when we go that extra mile for the worst of us. I think we all have that potential. It all depends upon what the situation is. The situation could be if someone is attacking your family, attacking your dog, your cat, whatever, you know, your home. You know, everyone has the ability for the worst of us to come out. But for some of us, the worst is already there. You don't have to push the button. Some people, I think, the worst, you know, some people are just ugly people. And I don't mean looks. I'm talking about personality and just their spirit is just ugly. But on the other hand, I think that there is good in some of the worst people. I think that you may have to dig down deep, 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 deep. But I think it is possible that people do have good in them. I would like to think that. And then Juju says some people have a mean streak, and yes, they do. Some people do just have a mean streak. But I mean, I think that, you know, when you look at what do I want to say? When you look at things like serial killers, were they always like that? You know, but then again, I think of somebody, this person, I always have to bring this person up because he's the one that that comes to mind a lot. You have people like Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, he was killing animals when he was a child. Was he ever good? Was he that sweet baby, you know, bouncing on his mother or father's knee? Was he ever that person? Because supposedly children are born good. Children are born good. So is it true then that there is good in the worst of us? You know, when like I said, I'm a people watcher. And usually when I'm out in the morning, early morning, and I'm walking my dog, you know, as most people do, you know, if you go certain routes, you ride your bike a certain route, you jog a certain route, you walk your dogs a certain route, you generally see the same people. And I, you know, like to sit no matter what route I'm going on that day. I like to go and I like to sit and at some point and just people watch. You know, watching, you know, I'll sit and watch, you know, other people walking their dogs, depending upon which route I take. I'll see kids getting on the school bus, you know, whatever. I'll see just a lot of, you know, different people doing different things. And even though I don't always hear their conversations, you know, you see their expressions, you see their hand gestures, whatever. And I always try to imagine sometimes what people are thinking. And you can see where some people are getting into arguments. You can see where people are lovey-dovey, you know, whatever. And sometimes I wonder about those people. Are they good people? Are they bad people? And people could be saying the same thing about me. Who's that lady sitting over there on that bench? What is she doing? What is she thinking? But I do believe that all of us have good and bad in us. I think it's easier for the bad to come out than it is for the good. I think, and when I say for the good, I mean, if you look at your serial killers or people who commit domestic abuse or rape or just anything, I think it's easier for people to be evil. And it's hard to find that good, but I do believe it's there, maybe. And the people who are good, I think you have people who go the extra mile. I think that you have crazy lady, welcome. And Abjoa, I apologize if I did not pronounce your name correctly. I do believe that you have people who are truly nice people who go the extra mile, who will put themselves on the front lines to be that good person. I look at somebody, and crazy lady, I'm going to use you as an example. I mean, she wants to, help deaf dogs, or dogs in general that need help. You have people who will just go past an animal in need. They're a good person, but they don't either have time or are willing to take the time to stop and help. You have homeless people that are out there. There are good people who may feel sorry for those people, but they don't take time to actually stop and help people that are in need. But it seems like that whenever there's something going on, whenever there's something, to see, whenever there's something bad, everyone can stop and see it. Everyone slows down when there's an accident on the freeway. If there's a fight at school, all the students are running over to see who is fighting. But if a student needed lunch money or didn't have enough to eat, not saying that students wouldn't, but how many would clamor over there to see that same student who needed help eating, or whatever, or even if they were getting picked on by a bully, to actually step in, as opposed to seeing that same student get beat up? How many of us are, going to stop and help someone who was in an accident as opposed to passing by and seeing the accident and kind of slowing down, probably saying to yourself, oh, wow, that's really bad. Oh, look, but you keep going. Is that me being cynical? And Crazy Lady says, I was once evil, but, that's what that phrase means. There's so much bad in the best of us and good in the worst of us. It ill behooves us to talk about the rest of us. So basically, we shouldn't talk about each other, but we do. I know I do. I talk about politicians all the time. I talk about people who dump their dogs off at the shelter where I volunteer. I talk about them all the time. So what will it take for you to cross that line? What will it take for you, this good person, to cross that line not necessarily into evil, but to do something that you would never imagine that you would do. Because I do believe that we, like I said, we all have the potential to do that. I know if someone ever went after my family, I would cross that line. If someone ever tried to hurt my dogs, because I'm such a dog lover, I would cross that line. I think we all have the potential, but how far would you go? And does that determine how bad you are? Like, according to the Bible, all sins are the same. One sin is not greater than the other. If you steal from someone, that's just as bad as killing someone. But in society, we don't see it like that. If you steal something, yes, you'll get in trouble. But if you murder someone, that's even worse. So what will it take for you to go there if you're that good person? And Gigi says, I always stop and help if there's an accident out front where I live, which there are 4 a month. I always call the police. Okay. And Crazy Lady says, do conductors are doing well and going to their forever home on Saturday. Oh, that's good, Crazy Lady. And Crazy Lady says, hurt my child and find out. So, what will it take? Are you that mother or father in the courtroom who is, sitting there doing your child's murder trial? Are you just sitting there quietly? Or are you screaming to the point where they have to put you out? Are you that person who, will just kind of just sit there and not say much? But the person who hurt your family, you're calculating? But at the same time, the person who has done those evil things, who did kill your child, who did bully your kid while they were at recess, do you approach them? What do you do? But if you're the person that did all those bad things, is there hope for you? Do you have good? I mean, we all hear and we've seen the videos and the stories of people, going on death row and they're, taking their last walk, whatever. And all of a sudden they're sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please. No, I don't want to die. So they're saying it 10 minutes before they're supposed to die. Do you believe them? Do you think that all of a sudden they found God at the very last moment? Or is that just desperation to stay alive? Hey, Shy Lady, welcome. Or what about those people who, are in prison for life and they've done horrible, horrible things? But one day they call you and say, I would like to meet with you. And you meet with them and they say, I'm really sorry for what I did. They're not getting out of prison and they know they're not. Do you believe them? Do you believe that when people say, I found God in prison, or, they were this horrible person, but all of a sudden they found Jesus? Do you believe that's possible, that those bad people, those horrible people, that there is good? And for those coming in, I'm going to put this in the chat again because I could not fit it all on the show. or the topic, show topic. I mean, we would all like to think that people are good. I mean, I would, but in reality, they're not. So is this just, I mean, do you guys agree or do you disagree with this quote? I mean, do you guys think that let's see, Crazy Lady says, well, since I can see the energy of a person, I know if they are meaning it or not. Okay. I do. That's a lot of good in this world. Okay. So Juju, then let me ask you. So do you think that there's more good in this world or do you think there's more evil? Because I find myself becoming more and more of a cynic because of just so much stuff that's going on that just doesn't make sense. Okay, I believe people can change and deserve a chance. Okay, Crazy Lady. So let me ask you, how many chances do you give people? 1, 2, 3, 4? What if they're repeat offenders? And I don't necessarily mean repeat offenders, meaning, you robbed a bank, you're going back to jail. You uh, did whatever. You were another. You're just a repeat offender. I'm not talking about necessarily with crime. Hey, Crazy. I'm talking about being a repeat offender just in doing things. So Crazy Lady, how many chances do you give people? So the kid that comes to your store and they stole a candy bar and they said they won't do it again, then you catch them again. Crucible, welcome. You catch them again and they say, I promise, I promise, I absolutely promise I won't do it again. And then a week later, they're doing it again. So how many chances do you give people? And is there more, what do I want to say? Is there more good in this world? You guys think there's more goodness in this world than there is evil. Because when you look at if you believe in the Bible, you believe in Adam and Eve. I mean, the world was created with love, but it started out with evil. And through time and history has shown us that every time you have someone doing something good, you have someone else doing something evil. And here we are. And again, for the people just coming in, I'm going to put this in the title of my show again. And this is a quote by James Truslow Adams. Okay, Gigi says, I would ask them how many times I have to catch you stealing. And then Crazy Lady says, I believe there's more good. And she says, because most people are not out messing because most people are not out messing things up. Okay. All right. But Juju, for you to say, for you to say, hold up, Crucible, I can't. Okay, Crucible, ask for another invite because it's not letting me. Oh, Podbean. There we go. Okay. So Juju, how many times do you have to catch them stealing? So what if they say, "Oh, I can't help it," or they just got smart, or they're I mean, isn't one time too many? A second time you've given them a chance? I mean, how many chances do people have to have? Crucible, welcome.
Hi, Solid. Thanks for having me up. Hello, everybody. As far as that other question is about how many chances, that's kind of a subjective thing, but I try to have the rule of thumb. I don't always stick to it, but I try to. And there's no third chances, I guess, is what I would say. I'll give you the first one, okay. Second one, you apologize and you profess to do better. Okay, the third one tells me there's going to be a fourth and a fifth and a sixth because you didn't really take the conversation seriously. That's just my own personal thing. But with regard to more good than evil in the world, I'm going to make kind of a nuanced statement without getting too weird. Good is fairly readily recognizable, and so is evil. We can definitely tell when somebody is good, when somebody is evil. But what I think is what's wrong with the world and why I can't decide whether there's more good than evil, because I think within the evil there's this category called bad, and it's not quite evil. It's not quite the heinous stuff that you look at and go, that person's evil. It's the incremental unkindness, the incremental lack of character that we see showing up in our daily lives that I think disappoints us, wears us down, disillusions us, when people don't do the right thing, when people disappoint you. These things are ongoing. We experience them on a daily basis, some of us more than others. And even though it doesn't necessarily rise or fall, maybe, to the level of quote unquote evil, we don't need evil in our lives to ruin our lives, to wear us down and make us very, very cynical and skeptical about life and people. We just have to live a little bit a while. I've never really encountered evil in my life that I can think of, but I've encountered all kinds of really crappy, really lousy, low integrity, low character people that really can screw up your mind if it goes on long enough. So I just wanted to put that out there. Evil is a very obvious thing. The other categories are a little less obvious, but I think those are the ones that tend to dominate our lives. Very few of us experience true evil, but we experience an awful lot of really crappy stuff.
Okay, all right. I would I'm trying to decide how to answer this because it depends upon what you consider evil. Because I have experienced evil in my life, and I still experience evil in my life. So I guess evil is a relative term in what you consider evil. Um, like I said, I believe the world was made with love. I believe it in the Bible. So I do believe God made heaven and earth. I believe He gave us this world for humans to live in and to enjoy and to love each other. But right off the bat, it was evil. And I'm referring to Eve eating the forbidden fruit. Um, I think a lot of people in this world experience evil. I don't think that very few of us, I think a lot of people do. Um, but it depends upon how you look at that evil. Some people may not think that is evil, but other people who it's happening to, it is evil. Um, I have become a cynic because I see, for me, from my lens, I see things that other people may not see or people refuse to see. You look at people in Iran, Iraq, a lot of these countries, that are experience war and what have you. To me, that's evil. Are you guys still here? Okay, so we are going to do this over.